Swords. Gods. Excrement. Darkness. And sibling rivalries with inevitable betrayals. What are we talking about today? The myth of Japan's origin. It's truly a fascinating story, so gather round, children, and let me enlighten you. A long, long time ago, there was another realm known as Takamagahara, the plane of high heavens, and just below it, a swirling mass of liquid. Most likely it was an ocean. Living in the high heavens were two gods, Izanagi and Izanami, he who invites and she who invites. Mad parties in the high heavens, that's for sure. The two of them were sent down to turn the liquid into land. So Izanagi dipped his sword into the liquid, and when he pulled it out, 4 droplets fell and formed the islands of Japan. Together the two of them populated the islands with tiny little baby gods, but unfortunately Izanami gave birth to the god of fire and died. Izanagi kind of loses it and tries to pull a Hercules to get Izanami out of Yomi, the land of the dead, but she doesn't want to go and chases him out. Now, as you can imagine, the land of the dead, not the cleanliest place in the world, or realms, dimensions. It's really dirty. So he takes a bath and magically creates more little god babies all by himself. 3 of these gods were Amaterasu, the sun goddess, Susanoo, the storm and sea god, and Tsukuyomi, the moon god. Tsukuyomi and Amaterasu had a big argument because Tsukuyomi killed Ukemochi, the goddess of food. And I don't know about you, but that was a real jerk move, Tsukuyomi. And that's why we have the whole night and day thing, because Amaterasu couldn't stand to look at his face ever again. But the real story here is with Amaterasu and her other brother, Susanoo. Susanoo was basically the rebel child of Izanagi and constantly obeyed him, which led to threats of banishment. Upset about getting kicked out of the house, Susanoo heads over to Amaterasu's place and screws everything up. He convinces her to have kids with him, he destroys her rice hill, he smears excrement all over the walls, and he throws a flayed pony through the roof of her weaving shed. What the hell, Susanoo? Not a mentally stable god. Embarrassed and ashamed of him, Amaterasu runs away and hides in a cave, thus plunging the entire universe into darkness. And not the kind with Benedict Cumberbatch. Everyone tries to get her out of the cave. They try to talk to her, bribe her, they probably tried to smoke her out at one point, but nothing would work. Caves must have really good Wi-Fi or something. But then, one of the most BAMF goddesses ever, Uzume, knows exactly what to do. She takes an empty barrel, gets on top of it, and starts dancing. Everyone starts cheering and laughing, and they make this big party, which piques Amaterasu's interest. She gets curious and comes out, and I see the light. All is happy and wonderful, and Susanoo finally gets banished to Izumo, nowadays known as Shimane Prefecture. Due to his banishment, Susanoo kind of grows up. He saves some kids from an 8-tailed beast and finds a sword in one of its tails, which he gives to Amaterasu to kind of make up for everything he did, and for some reason she forgives him. Luckily, their story has a happy ending because one of their sons, Okuninushi, pacifies the wildland and becomes a hero. Except that his brothers hate him for being so perfect all the time with his perfect heroism and perfect cheekbones, not even to mention the hair, so they constantly try to kill him. Actually, they succeed a lot. But Okuninushi keeps getting resurrected, kind of like Doctor Who. And because Okuninushi is not only a great hero, he's a great dad, so all of his sons get the right to rule the land, and his great-great-grandson becomes the first emperor of Japan, Emperor Jimmu. And that, my friends, is the origin mythos of Japan. It's one of my favorite stories, and honestly, I really think there should be a movie about it or something by now. Then again, Game of Thrones covers most of the same issues. If you have further questions, please put them in the comments below or on Facebook, Tumblr, and Twitter, and I will see you next time, cuties. Bye! Susanoo was basically the rebel child of Izanagi, and he constantly disobeyed him.